the outbreak of the war, the National Army was inadequate to meet its needs. This little force of 150 trained medical officers, theoretically available at the beginning of the war, was however materially depleted. 3 who so resigned entered into the practice of their profession, declining to assist either against friends in the northern states and former military associates remaining under the old flag. These men formed the nucleus about which the medical department of the Confederacy was created, building it up along the administrative lines to which they were accustomed, and even adopting the same blank forms and reports as at the sick and wounded which they had formerly used in the federal service. Disease is a major percent of how soldiers died in the Civil War. The bacteria where they were fighting is what caused the soldiers to get sick with these diseases and is why a high number of soldiers were lost in the Civil War. During the Civil War, there were 5 important medical advances that have helped with modern medicine: life-saving amputation, anesthesia inhaler, facial reconstruction, closing chest wounds, and the ambulance DER system. Two soldiers died of diseases for every 1 killed in battle due to diseases such as typhoid, malaria, measles and mumps, and diarrhea. Typhoid fever is a life-threatening illness caused by the bacterium Salmonella typhi. It can also be caused by Salmonella paratyphi, a related bacterium that usually causes a less severe illness. Malaria is a parasitic infection spread by anopheles, mosquitoes. The Plasmodium parasite that causes malaria is neither a virus nor a bacterium. It is a single-celled parasite that multiplies in red blood cells of humans as well as the mosquito intestine. Viruses that can cause diarrhea include Norwalk virus, cytomegalovirus, and viral hepatitis. The bacteria are contaminated food or water can transmit bacteria and parasites to your body. The parasites such as Giardia lamblia and Cryptosporidium can cause diarrhea. Campylobacter, Salmonella, Shigella, and Escherichia coli are the most common bacteria that cause diarrhea. Soldiers from small rural areas suffered from childhood diseases such as measles and mumps because they lacked immunity and their immune systems were weak. Measles, also known as rubiola, is a highly contagious viral infection caused by the measles virus. Mumps, on the other hand, is a highly contagious viral infection with an incubation period of 14 to 18 days from exposure to onset of the symptoms. Until 1928, the penicillin, the first antibiotic, was discovered by Alexander Fleming, professor of bacteriology at St. Mary's Hospital in London, England. Alexander Fleming was looking for ways to destroy bacteria, but in 1928 he was growing lots of bacteria such as staphylococci on agar plates. His lab was always messy and dirty and was never clean. He didn't pull all of his plates and bleach to sterilize them, and he left the lab windows open all the time. When he came back from a holiday, he noticed that lots of his culture plates were moldy. A common mold that might have grown on a slice of bread had landed on his plates. Alexander was the first scientist to discover the first antibiotic. Penicillin was important in the medical field because penicillin was used en masse after D-Day. On wounded men, it was found to be especially effective against gangrene. Doctors then found that penicillin could help fight against diseases, and it was an accidental miracle. World War II was a big promoter for penicillin after it was discovered. One of the more profound advances was penicillin for World War II because the drug helped reduce the overall number of amputations and deaths. It was used for amputations in World War II, and a further problem on the battlefield was septicemia, or blood poisoning. Penicillin was used in World War II to keep infections from spreading. By attacking the open wounds with penicillin and sterilizing surgeries with antiseptics, Army doctors were able to revitalize troops more quickly. It was known the miracle drug when it was first discovered, and penicillin saved more people's lives than anyone knows. One of the earliest successes, in 1943, was the discoverer of streptomycin from a soil Streptomyces griskin. Streptomycin is an antibiotic drug, the first of a class of drugs called aminoglycosides to be discovered, and was the first antibiotic remedy for tuberculosis. Hand washing is the single most effective way to prevent the spread of infections. You can spread certain germs, usually viruses and bacteria, casually by touching another person. Hand hygiene is important because it reduces the amount of germs that can carry bacteria or viruses to other people around you. There are always situations where you need to wash your hands in order to stop the spread of infections. Before, during, and after preparing food, or before you start to eat food. Before and after caring for someone who is sick. Before and after treating a cut or wound on your hand or any body part. After using the toilet or changing diapers or cleaning up a child who has just used the toilet. After blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. After touching an animal, animal feed, or animal waste, and after handling pet food or pet treats. Also after touching garbage or taking out the trash. Antibacterials fight infectious bacteria in the body. They attack the disease process by destroying the structure of the bacteria or their ability to divide or reproduce. Some antibacterials kill bacteria outright and are called bactericide. They may directly attack the bacterial cell wall, which injures the cell. The bacteria can no longer attack the body, preventing these cells from doing any further damage in the body. Other antibacterials block the bacteria's growth and reproduction, often called bacteriostatic antibiotics, which prevent nutrients from reaching the bacteria, which stops them from dividing and multiplying. Because millions of bacteria are needed to continue the disease process, these antibiotics can stop the infection and give the body's own immune system time to attack. The term antibiotics literally means against life, in this case against microbes, which are germs or viruses. Antibiotics are powerful medicines that fight bacterial infections. Used properly, antibiotics can save lives. They either kill bacteria or they keep them from reproducing. Penicillin helps fight against streptococci, staphylococci, clostridiums, and listeria genera. Quinines help fight against plague, bacterial infection due to deer, fly, flea, and tick bites, and malaria. Quinolinus fights against Ligonia pneumophilia and Mycoplasma pneumonia. Macrolides help fight against Streptococcus pneumoniae. Bacteria, also called probiotics, are similar to bacteria that reside naturally in your body. Lactobacillus, Bifidobacterium, and Streptococcus are examples. Probiotics are live bacteria and yeast that are good for your health, especially your digestive system, but your body's full of bacteria, both good and bad. They are often called good or helpful bacteria because they help keep your gut healthy. Probiotics are naturally found in your body. Antibiotic resistance is when an antibiotic is used. Bacteria that can resist the antibiotic has a greater chance of survival than those that are susceptible. Antibiotic-resistant bacteria can quickly spread to family members, schoolmates, and coworkers, threatening the community with a new strain of infectious disease that's more difficult to cure and more expensive to treat. Antibiotic resistance occurs when bacteria change in some way that reduces or eliminates the effectiveness of drugs, chemicals, or other agents designed to cure or prevent infections. What you need to do is either talk to your healthcare provider about antibiotic resistance, do not take any antibiotic for a viral infection like a cold or a flu, do not save some of your antibiotics for the next time you get sick. Discard any leftover medication once you've completed your prescribed course of treatments. Some develop the ability to neutralize the antibiotic before it can do harm. Others can rapidly pump the antibiotic out, and still others can change the antibiotic attack site so it cannot affect the function of the bacteria. Antibacterials are definitely effective in killing bacteria. Antibacterial products include hand soaps, hand sanitizers, and hand wipes. The products contain special ingredients that kill or control the growth of germs. When washing with an anterior-back soap or wiping with anterior-back wipes, more than 99% of the germs have been picked up on the hands or typically eliminated. Overall, antibacterial products are better for preventing the spread of infection. Their use does not add to the problem of resistance, as does it help with the spread of germs, bacteria, and spread of infection. Soaps and detergents, hand lotions, disinfectants, window cleaners, cleaning cloths, surface sprays, mouthwash, toothpaste, and garbage bags are just a few of the things that are antibacterial products that help with the spread of infection. Staphylococcus aureus and Neisseria gonorrhea, the cause of gonorrhea, are now almost always resistant to penicillin. Vancomycin-resistant Enterococcus and multi-drug-resistant Mycobacterium tuberculosis are also resistant. If you pick up a bacterial infection from someone else who has been infected by an antibiotic-resistant strain, you too will have now an infection that may not respond to antibiotics. Without powerful antibiotics to destroy these bacteria, your health is at serious risk, and life-threatening complications could result. The part of bacterial DNA that often carries antibiotic resistance is a master of moving between different types of bacteria and adapting to widely differing bacterial species, and that's what causes the bacteria to spread rapidly. Probiotics do play a role in treating drug-resistant bacteria because they are not a drug, rather a living thing that can outcompete the other bacteria.